Hi everyone and welcome back to Bonnie Astrology. Today we're discussing the very exciting but also very healing full moon in Virgo happening on the 7th of March 2023 and what it means for your zodiac sign. If you want to book a reading with me, the information is listed in the description box. That's the only place you can get me to book a reading. I am now offering Saturn in Pisces readings. These will be written rather than video format, but they will go into your individual birth chart, what this transit is going to mean for you for the 3 years that Saturn is transiting Pisces, the house that it's in, the planets that's going to be aspecting, what those planets rule in your chart, what that means for you, with key dates that might be of interest to you, because Saturn cycles are very important in our personal growth and development as individuals. And sometimes when we just watch astrology videos, it can be kind of hard to get the real themes of what's going on for you while Saturn is transiting a particular sign, because it will manifest very differently, even if there are key themes at play. For each of the rising signs, depending on the planets it's aspected, it can be very different for each person. So the information is listed below if you want to check that out. So this full moon I find very exciting for a number of reasons. The trine to Uranus is very close, so there's a sense of excitement, there's a sense of positive surprise and intrigue, positive realizations, supportive realizations, a little bit of help from our friends, kind of energy going on with this full moon, especially when it comes to healing. That's the key theme of this full moon, is healing. The reason being is that when we have a full moon in Virgo, the healing axis of the zodiac is activated. So we have the sun in Pisces, which is to do with the soul healing, and we have the full moon in Virgo, which is to do with the body healing. Now, this opposition between the sun and the full moon is forming a somewhat loose square with Mars and Gemini is the mind. So we have this interesting T-square in the mutable signs, which really gives me the sense of mind, body, and soul. This full moon is about healing mind, body, and soul. Full moons in Virgo are the medicine that we need in order to get in touch with our mind, body, and soul, in particular our body. So with this full moon being in the sign of Virgo, we are more in tune with our physical well-being. Any symptoms that manifest physically usually have something deeper emotionally. So if you think of the book The Body Keeps Score, our physical symptoms are usually trapped emotion or emotion that's not been processed. So you might find around this full moon that you're experiencing unusual physical symptoms, or you might be getting some clarity surrounding a health matter or some kind of healing matter, whether that is to do with your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your well-being. This is really a time to go within and heal, in a sense, because we have this full moon being in the sign of Virgo, which represents the hermit in the traditional tarot deck. So we might be shining a light, illumination. Full moons are always about illumination, shining a light about what does need to be healed. And this message is amplified. What is needing to be healed is being screamed at us by the fact that it's a full moon, but also because Chiron and Jupiter are conjunct under this full moon. And if you don't know Chiron is the wounded healer in astrology. And when it's next to Jupiter amplifies. We did have a beautiful conjunction between Jupiter and Venus, so there's a lot of self-love involved in this healing process, but Jupiter tends to make things quite loud, quite obvious. So with the conjunction to Jupiter, the healing that needs to happen is probably quite obvious, and it is, very personal with that conjunction happening in the sign of Aries. And it's going to require a lot of self-acceptance and a lot of self-love with this full moon. But you might be finding around this full moon that you're more interested in different types of healing. You could be drawn to something in particular. You could be drawn to changing your diet. You could be drawn to changing your exercise routine. You could be giving something up that's negatively impacting your well-being. And because Saturn is actually entering Pisces very shortly after this full moon, you might be finding that what you're giving up is something that you would use to escape or to numb the self. So that could be alcohol, that could be Netflix, that could be drugs, that could be anything that just takes you away from what needs to be done. For a lot of people, I think in this day and age, it's addictive scrolling. The Saturn in Pisces transit is going to be the Saturn return of the internet. So a lot of people might be going internet sober with this full moon, or they might just be going sober in some way, shape or form, because the Saturn in Pisces transit is going to be sobering for individuals and the collective. So that's what you might be finding around this full moon. You want to give up something that you're using to escape. As I say, this T-square is the mind, body, and soul, and what is negatively impacting your sense of well-being. And with Mars being in Gemini, it could be to do with mental chatter, having mental arguments with people, expanding a lot of your energy internally, fighting with yourself, criticizing yourself could be a theme with this Virgo full moon. Being a perfectionist, or just putting yourself down, or maybe even with the Mars and Gemini energy, it's people on the internet putting you down. It's a sense of maybe there's some kind of voice coming at you that is challenging or aggressive. And one way to look at this full moon with the Mars and Gemini part of it is don't take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with, particularly if they're giving you advice that is just very jagged criticism, but you wouldn't necessarily, you know, taking their advice might not necessarily help you if it's not going to get you where you want to go. It's a roundabout way of saying it, but if you wouldn't trade places with them, taking their advice or their criticism is not necessarily conducive to you getting where you want to go. So the Mars energy is suggesting that something needs to change, because with Mars we want to take action. So I think for a lot of people, it's taking action on their mental health. It's giving up something that is affecting you mentally, which is in turn affecting you emotionally or physically. And you want to be more proactive in giving something up. You have the energy to give something up. Squares can push us more than trines do. While trines are very supportive and they bring in a flowing energy, this square to Mars is urging you, pushing you, pressuring you to give up or fix something when it comes to your health and your well-being. Uranus being in trine to this full moon, I love, because it is bringing some kind of excitement. I think it's bringing some sort of surprise to a lot of people. It could be quite an emotional surprise, because with the full moon, it's usually something that is to do with our emotional life. So this can be unexpectedly, someone telling you something unexpectedly that makes you very happy. Someone telling you some news that makes you very happy, or you coming into some news yourself that is going to be very exciting and herald a new chapter for you. Uranus tends to bring surprises, but whenever it is in positive aspect, these surprises can be very pleasant. So that energy is the strongest with this full moon, that trine to Uranus. Something exciting may be coming up, something surprising, but I feel like it's a kind of good surprise that could be coming up with Uranus. Something that is going to require you, though, to keep an open mind or do something a little bit differently than you usually would. So I'm going to draw an oracle card for this full moon and see what we get for the overall message for the full moon in Virgo. The timestamps are listed below if you want to go ahead to your zodiac sign. As usual, watch your rising first for the astrology, but you can also watch your sun and moon, because each will be getting a card and each will have its individual insights for the full moon in Virgo. So let's get an oracle card for this full moon in Virgo. This is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I think it's by Colette Baron Reid. Yes, Colette Baron Reid. I'm going to get a card for the energy of this full moon. Serendipity. This is so cute. I went on a walk earlier and actually picked up a clover. So I really love this card. This is the Serendipity card. Unfortunately, as you can see, I've bent it because I carried it in my pocket. Whoops. But this is all about positive serendipity. So this is a lucky card. Funnily enough, this full moon is happening 10 days before St. Patrick's Day. But this is about luck and fortune and things aligning in a positive way. Pleasant surprises with that trine to Uranus. And all the green energy is making me think of healing, especially healing when it comes to the heart. So a lot of heart chakra energy, I think, coming from this card, whereby you're going to be opening your heart. So you might be, as usual, this isn't a medical channel. If you have any symptoms, do check it with a doctor. But feeling a heart expansive energy, maybe by palpitations, maybe by a little bit of discomfort in the chest, or just feeling like you need to stretch your chest because you're having a heart chakra awakening or opening or cleansing. But I do think with this card, it's giving me the sense of lucky opportunity, serendipity, things aligning, like the skies are aligning for something that is great, something that is fortunate, something that is bringing you luck. And maybe just simply the fact that you've clicked on this and you've seen this means that this luck is in fact for you. There is something lucky and serendipitous happening around this full moon in Virgo. I also noticed that underneath we have the breathe card. So breathing under this full moon is going to be important. Taking time to meditate, Meditation may be one of those things that you're deciding is necessary for you under this full moon, taking time to rest, taking time to contemplate, and you may even be finding yourself drawn to breath work under this full moon in particular with this lovely card. It always makes me think of breath work, but with the serendipity and the breathe card, it also gives me the sense of don't worry, because everything is working out in your favor. All you have to do is breathe. So some things are just meant to land in your lap. I know that Virgo is a service sign, but sometimes with Uranus coming in, pleasant surprises, you can be micromanaging and working very hard on something, but the universe has something else planned for you. Sometimes it's worthwhile letting the universe surprise you along the way, rather than trying to micromanage every detail of how you want things to play out. But that's what I have for the full moon in Virgo. Thank you for watching. Timestamps are listed below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and give it a thumbs up to let me know that you like it. Talk to you soon. Hi Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising. Aries, welcome to the full moon in Virgo. For you, this is a very healing full moon because it is happening in your 6th house of well-being. For a lot of you, this could be that you are going to be giving up something that is not healthy for you anymore. And when I say healthy, I don't mean this in a cookie cutter kind of way. Maybe giving up cookies. I don't mean it in that kind of way. Health is so different for different people on their journey, depending on where they are. For some people, they want to gain weight. For some people, they want to lose weight. For some people, they need to eat more calories. For some people, they need to less, depending on where they are on their particular journey. So whatever stage you're at, whatever part of your wellness journey or experience you're at, this full moon is going to be some kind of peak moment. There's going to be a lot of realizations, especially when it comes to your self-confidence. With this supportive trine to Uranus, it's like you might be feeling that you have the confidence to join a gym. You might be feeling you have the confidence to climb a mountain. You might be feeling you have the confidence to finally quit smoking. Something like that. You're getting this sense of I can do it energy, especially with that Jupiter-Chiron conjunction in your 1st house. You're motivated to do something. You're motivated to heal something that maybe has been troubling you for quite a long time, or something you've carried with you as sort of an identity wound, something that maybe you've never liked about yourself, and you're choosing to embrace it, or you're choosing to forgive yourself for it. And this is going to be a big part of you feeling better. You know, this can also be about having more sleep. The ruler of this full moon is Mercury, and it is in Pisces. So you might be finding that you need more sleep around this time, especially with Saturn entering your 12th house. I can tell you from experience, because Saturn is leaving my 12th house as it's going into yours, Aries, that your dreams are going to be bananas for 3 years if they're not already. You're going to actually have premonitions. You're going to see things in the future before they happen. It's the weirdest stuff, but Saturn going through the 12th house can really exaggerate and amplify your sleep world in a way. It can also sometimes give you sleepless nights, or it can sometimes make you more aware of the environment you sleep in and how you want to preserve it so that you get better sleep. And it also gives you a stronger sense of dream analysis. And it's a very healing cycle. I will say it's a very healing cycle, particularly for Aries risings. You're going to notice that you're more interested in different types of healing that you maybe weren't open to before, or different types of ways of working through your emotions that maybe you weren't conscious of. It can open you up to a whole new world of different ways to heal your body, to heal your mind, and to heal your soul. And this can be a really exciting thing on its own for you, Aries. And if you already have interest in that particular area, this can definitely be a very exciting time for you, because with Saturn ruling your 10th house, you might find yourself professionally becoming a healer of some kind, maybe a doctor, maybe a Reiki practitioner, maybe a breathwork practitioner, anything that is healing in some capacity. With Saturn, as I say, being a very professional planet in general, but specifically for you, you could find that you're going to incorporate healing of some kind into your career over the next 3 years. But focusing more on this full moon, it's going to show you what the medicine is. It's going to show you what it is that you need to heal. It's going to show you what it is that you need to work on. For some of you on a more practical level, it might be that you're leaving a job. It might be that you're ending a particular source of employment. It might be that you are leaving a gym. It might be that you're giving up a food. It might be that you are going to change your routine in some way. Especially with that supportive trine to Uranus, you might want more excitement in your routine. You might want to try something new. You might want to try something that is a little bit out there, a little bit more out of the box. But let's see what we get for you, Aries. Higher power. A lot of you are going to be connecting with your spiritual side under this full moon. With the higher power card, a lot of you are going to be more interested in your higher self, your higher chakras, like the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, you're more connected to the divine. With Saturn going into Pisces, it's going to be a very interesting chapter in your spiritual journey or your journey surrounding your mental health. And I feel for a lot of you, it's going to be a third eye awakening or a crown chakra awakening where you're more connected to the divine and you're ready with this full moon to let go of something in order to embrace more spiritual experiences. That's what I have for you, Aries, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome to the full moon in Virgo for your sign. So, Taurus, this full moon is happening in your 5th house. This is a very creative full moon for you. It's supported by Uranus in your 1st house. So, you're going to be feeling really inspired to do something differently when it comes to having fun, when it comes to playing, when it comes to being creative. This one is looking like a very fun full moon to you. Now, I will say there could be some challenges with this when it comes to maybe having a little crisis of confidence with that square to Mars. Maybe you're signing up for a creative project of some kind, or maybe you're feeling really inspired to make something or do something or go somewhere, and then that square to Mars kicks in and you kind of think, I'm a bit nervous about this, or maybe I can't do this, and there's like this sort of mental chatter that's saying, no, you can't, but you absolutely can, because you're the strongest aspect to this full moon with Uranus being in your sign. You're feeling like you can try something new. You're feeling like you can do something outside of the box. You're feeling inspired. You're feeling very excited. For a lot of you, this can also be you feeling very excited and inspired to pursue someone romantically. This can be that you have a new love interest. This can be that you're dating someone, and with the trine from your sign coming in, you're wanting to go for it. You're wanting to maybe date someone a bit different, maybe date someone a bit more out there, someone a bit different to your usual type. Might be who you're pursuing under this full moon, or being pursued by. Of course, it can go both ways. I feel like with Saturn entering Pisces at the same time, and this full moon activating your 11th house, 5th house axis, some of you might be deciding that you want to pull away a bit from a particular friend, a particular team, a particular group, a particular society maybe, because you're realizing that it's not going to fit the next part of your journey, or you're realizing it's not as stable or strong as you thought it was, with Saturn moving into Pisces in the same day. And Mercury, that rules this full moon, being in Pisces, you're kind of thinking about your friendships, so your teams, your groups, and you're going to want to, even if you're a really social Taurus and you have loads of friends, do you know the way how sometimes when you're in high school or you're in university or wherever it is, that's very, or sometimes you're working for a company that's incredibly social and you find yourself really connected to so many people that you don't necessarily evaluate the quality of those connections, and eventually you just feel like, I need to hone it down a little bit. You need to focus more of your energy on the friendships that are true and who will be there for you during hard times. So some of you might be thinking under this full moon, who are my friends? Who are the real ones here? What suits the direction that I'm going in? Because with the trine to Uranus in your 1st house, you are changing constantly. And you're going in different directions, and you might surprise people quite a lot. So you might notice that some people aren't as supportive of the new part of your journey, and that's just maybe because they're not meant to be on it. It's not about shaming anybody or anything like that, but you might be finding yourself, Taurus, focusing more on quality over quantity. A leg up. But nevertheless, people are going to be really helping you out under this full moon, because we have a leg up and loyal heart. So I think for some of you, if you're attracted to someone, or there's someone you're interested in romantically, they might be quite a loyal soul, or someone who has a loyal heart, or that might be what you're looking for. Maybe that's different to your usual type. I don't know. Sometimes that's the case, but these are both very supportive cards. So I think for a lot of you, making sure that you're surrounded by people who are supportive is a big priority of yours. But I also feel with this full moon that there's going to be helpful people on your path that want to help you up. Not to forget that Uranus in your 1st house is forming a sextile to the sun in Pisces, your sector of friendships, networking. You can be feeling like others are helping you, or you're helping others around this full moon. But that is what I have for you, Taurus, and I will see you soon. Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the full moon in Virgo for your sign. So Gemini, this full moon in Virgo is happening in your 4th house. So around this full moon, with a very supportive trine to Uranus in your 12th house, a lot of you could be unexpectedly letting go of an old memory, of an old pattern, of an old habit, of an old trauma. Or you could be coming into some information about the past you weren't aware of, or information about your family that in some way, shape or form is setting you free. Now, this could also be good news related to a property matter that comes out of nowhere. This could be something you've been waiting to hear from about on a while, and you maybe thought you'd been forgotten about, or you thought that there was something that had been missed, and you're suddenly getting the go-ahead when it comes to your property, when it comes to a home matter. Or you could be coming into some news, as I say, regarding the past or regarding your family that helps you heal and sets you free in some way, shape or form. This can also be linked to your career. So we have the sun there in Pisces, and we have Saturn entering Pisces the same day, your 10th house of your professional life, or at least your public status, what you're known for. And with Saturn going into Pisces, a lot of the time, especially if you have your midheaven in Pisces, and you'll be most affected if your midheaven is at like 0 degrees of Pisces, but that will depend on your individual zodiac, your birth chart. But Saturn, if you have your midheaven in Pisces, will transit it in this 3-year cycle. And a lot of the time when Saturn transits your 10th house or your midheaven, you do become connected to your purpose. So I know that's a big deal to say, but I looked up the exact date that I started my YouTube channel to post astrology and divination content, and Saturn was exactly on my midheaven. It was pushing me to do that. And I didn't consciously choose that at the time. I wasn't consciously thinking, oh, Saturn's going over my midheaven, because at the time my birth time was wrong. It was only by a few minutes, but the only thing that changed in my chart were the angles. But it aligns you with something that's part of your purpose, part of your destiny, part of your future career. So with this full moon highlighting your career axis in a sense, because the sun is in Pisces and the full moon's in your family sector, your private professional life is in the spotlight here. And it's being supported by your inner world, your subconscious, or what you don't see. So this can mean there's pleasant surprises supporting these areas that you didn't see coming, or it can be that the healing work that you're doing internally is bringing results for you when it comes to your relationships with your family, when it comes to your relationships with your career. That kind of thing is what I'm seeing for you, Gemini. Now the trouble is, I say trouble quite lightly because this is a loose square, but it's in your sign. Now, Mars will leave your sign this month, but Mars being in Gemini means that you might be feeling a bit irritated. You might be feeling a bit irritable about what's coming out in a sense, or it might trigger you a little bit. You might not entirely be sure why, but with Mars being in your first house, you might feel a little bit on edge. You might just feel a little bit more sensitive, especially when it comes to any kind of criticism, especially when it comes to any kind of feedback that you don't necessarily feel is accurate with this full moon. So just notice you might be feeling a little bit more sensitive, and things might not necessarily be directed to you. Feeling more sensitive can be part of a healing process. So if you are feeling a little bit triggered, this might be to draw your attention to something so that you can let it go, especially if it comes to your private life, your professional life. Maybe you get feedback on something that you felt was really good, but someone says something that isn't what you wanted to hear, and it bothers you a little bit. We do have this conjunction happening between Jupiter and Chiron in your 11th house, so it could be to do with your wishes, your goals, your future plans. These could be amplified. Any wounding you have surrounding friendships, any wounding you have surrounding teams or groups. You might be doing a lot of healing in that area as well, Gemini, or to do with social media, your social media following and your social media presence. There's a lot of healing going on in these areas for you. Let me see what we have for you, Gemini. We already got 2 there. By the book. Okay, so maybe it's that you want to do things one way and everyone else wants you to do them another way. With Mars being in your sign, it just goes with yang underneath. So there's very direct energy where maybe you're wanting to push and other people are maybe wanting to take things a little bit slower. It's a little bit more detail oriented. It's a little bit more by the book with the Virgo energy. This might be a little frustrating for you, but it is suggesting that going by the book with at least home and family matters might be a little bit better for you at this time, Gemini. The Uranian energy can bring pleasant surprises coming in from nowhere or from the healing that you've been doing, but at least for you, it is suggesting to do something by the book in your life, Gemini, under this full moon. Maybe that's starting a routine, maybe that's incorporating a new habit, or maybe that's going back to an old habit that used to really work for you. Or maybe it's making out your goals for the Saturn in Pisces transit, because it is going to be very professional and impactful for you, Gemini. So that is what I have for you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. Cancer, welcome to the full moon in Virgo for your sign. So Cancer, this full moon is very much associated with learning for you. So this full moon is happening in your third house of communication, learning, mental stimulation, and the sun is obviously going to then be in the opposite house, the ninth house, which is to do with higher learning, higher perspectives, and a lot of the time our spiritual perspectives as well. So this full moon is going to be a time where you're likely taking a course, or you're wanting to take a course, you're inspired to take something new, learn something new, or maybe you're teaching something new under this full moon as well, and it's giving you a big thumbs up when it comes to these matters. You could be receiving results around this time. You could also be receiving important news with a full moon in your third house, or you could be receiving important communication, particularly because there is a trine to Uranus. And Uranus is a lot of the time the energy out in the ether, you know, our emails, our electronics and stuff like that. So I feel like with it being in your 11th house, you could be receiving important news when it comes to your friends or your social groups or your social networks or even social media, Cancer. There is a square happening to Mars in your 12th house. So you could be finding yourself, maybe your sleep could be a bit off. You could be finding yourself kind of having arguments with people in your head before you go to sleep, or you could be feeling a little bit maybe over energized at bedtime. So you might be trying to look into a new sleep routine, something that helps you unwind, something that helps you relax a little bit more, Cancer. Ooh. Okay, well, we had two cards that actually popped out for you. So we have breathe and exchanging gifts. So a lot of you could be getting a gift around this time or receiving some sort of freebie, getting something for free. I also feel like this is a higher message for everyone in general, but it's come up for you specifically. It's about allowing yourself to receive from the universe, allowing yourself to receive rather than necessarily push for something. With the breathe card, a lot of time it's about receptivity, and with exchanging gifts, I feel like you could be receiving some kind of gift. But a lot of you could also be leaning into teaching something that you're gifted at, or taking a course to really hone or finesse the gifts that you already have, Cancer. So you might be looking into studying something that you have a natural ability for, or enhancing skills that you already have. That is what I have for you, Cancer, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the full moon in Virgo for your sign. So Leo, this full moon is happening in your second house, which is to do with your money and your finances, and it is going to be forming a supportive trine to Uranus in your 10th house of your public persona and your status, your career. I feel like for a lot of you, you could be in for a pay rise around this time because someone's impressed with you, or you could be, you know, you could be sort of the creme de la creme of people wanting to hire you for things, people wanting to promote you, people wanting to give you exposure in some kind that's going to benefit you monetarily. So you could be making more money because you're getting more attention from the right kind of people, you're getting support from the right kind of people, you're getting support from people in positions of power, maybe people who have a lot of sway, who have a lot of clout. Is the way that this could be going for you, Leo. It definitely looks like your money could be increasing around this time. Now with the square to Mars in Gemini, it's giving me the sense that maybe you're getting a little bit of frustration involved in this matter when it comes to maybe your dreams and your goals. Maybe you're really wanting to push ahead with something, but now you have a financial commitment to somebody. Or maybe you're finding that your friends are being a little bit less supportive than you like, or maybe your friends are sort of challenging something, or you could be dealing with trolls on social media. With Mars being in Gemini in your 11th house, you could be finding that there's a little bit more confrontation going on there when it comes to what you deserve potentially, or maybe there's just a mean comment comes up that could potentially dent your confidence a little bit. But it's worth remembering that if something is coming up that does dent your confidence, remember that there's people in very high positions or people with a lot of success behind them that are really proud of you and really support whatever it is that you're doing, because it looks as though there's people in higher positions, people that have really built something for themselves, that want to push you into the spotlight, they want to support you. So this could actually be financial support coming in for you, Leo, as well. It's worth remembering that with Saturn going into Pisces, you're going to be finding over the next few years that you have potentially financial commitments when it relates to a significant other or when it relates to a business partner that you're going to have to take very seriously. So you're going to be taking money very seriously over the next few years, Leo, but it's kind of linked to maybe a partner's money, or it's linked to money with a business partner or the government or something like that. So it's worth making sure under this full moon that you're aware of the financial implications of anything. Say you're being employed by somebody new, you know what your tax situation is like, or you know what money is going where. So it's a really good full moon to do a financial review of some kind. The regeneration card popped out, but I want to give you another one because I kind of just dropped that. So Leo under the full moon in Virgo. Exchanging gifts. Cute. I think Cancer got this one as well. I feel as though with the exchanging gifts card, I love this because there's a cat in it and Leo is such a feline sign. I feel like under this full moon, a lot of you could be receiving a gift, maybe unexpectedly. You could be getting a gift because the second house is actually the house of gifts. So you might be getting an unexpected gift from somebody who is quite powerful, or you might be getting a gift from a parent or an employer or your company or something like this. But I feel like this is something to do with how you've transformed and been reborn in some shape or form, Leo. Some deep healing you've done, some transformation you've done on a personal level. It's like someone's rewarding you for it. So it might be the universe actually giving you something to say, you've done really well, you deserve this, here's a gift. But I think a lot of you are going to be receiving an unexpected gift around this time, Leo. So look out for that. And I will talk to you soon. Hi Virgo, star of this show. Happy full moon in your sign. So Virgo, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that full moons are emotional times, and when they're in your sign, they can be quite emotional. It can be a time of reflection. It can be a very deep time of healing your relationship with yourself. Now this is interesting because the same day Saturn is going to enter your relationship sector, meaning that the next 3 years you're taking your relationships very seriously. What's going to work in the long run, what's not, who's going forward with you, who isn't, and are you committing deeper to the people you have in your life. So this full moon is a really good time to check in with yourself, your personal wants, your personal needs, what you want from a relationship, what you need from a relationship. And also what your personal goals are going forward, because there's no point having a relationship where you put everything into the other person, because it'll never be in balance. So you need to have clarity on what your needs and wants are as well, what your goals are as well. And with this lovely trine to Uranus in your 9th house, you could be having some really interesting insights. You could be getting knowledge from somewhere that is helping you fuel your relationship with yourself or heal your relationship with yourself. You could be studying something, you could be taking a course, you could be reading something, you could be finding a mentor, you could be embracing or immersing yourself in some sort of spiritual practice, or you could even be taking a trip, Virgo, that is going to help you with your relationship with yourself. You could be traveling somewhere, you could be taking some sort of vacation that is going to help you, gain more confidence and clarity in yourself. The only issue is that we have Mars in your 10th house, so you might be feeling a little bit bothered by something going on at work, or someone at work could be kind of annoying you or irritating you, or you could have a lot of professional commitments that are frustrating you. And you might have to set up some boundaries there around this full moon, Virgo. But the focus is on you, and even with Saturn moving into Pisces, the balance is clear. When Saturn transits the 7th house, it's still going to be impacting the 1st. It's going to impact your ascendant. It's going to impact your Virgo placements. So focusing very much on your own personal wants and needs are important, because there's going to be challenges when it comes to balancing those out in your relationships with others. So what is it that you're feeling about yourself? What's your relationship like with yourself? It's a really good time to check in. How are you doing with your personal goals? Also, we have, for your oracle card, time for a nap. It really wants you to take some good sleep. It really wants you to take some rest, Virgo. So if you are planning a trip, especially if it involves going overseas, this is a really good time to do so, to rest, recharge, and get a bit of relaxation in, Virgo. That's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the full moon in Virgo. Libra, I bet you're feeling a bit sleepy under this full moon, because it's happening in your 12th house, and full moons in the 12th house can be a time where we need more sleep, because our sleep can be disrupted. We can have unusual dreams, we can have unusual occurrences in our sleep, and you might be finding around this full moon that you really need more rest and relaxation, and you might not be feeling quite as social as maybe some other people are under this full moon. Now, there is a trine to Uranus, which is in Taurus, which is your 8th house. So I feel like you're being supported maybe to take some rest, or maybe you're able to finance a trip abroad or a vacation because of a partner's finances, or because of some kind of investment. It feels as well that if this is to do with your inner world with the 8th house, you're feeling a little bit more, you're getting a little bit more clarity and insights into how some of your fears or phobias are holding you back. And I feel like for a lot of you, you might be doing something that actually involves processing some healing around this time. When the 8th house and the 12th house are linked in a harmonious aspect, a lot of the time it occurs when people are looking deeper into something. They're maybe working with a therapist or a trauma expert, or they're maybe even working with an astrologer with Uranus in the 8th that is going to help you see something differently and help you heal and process something that has maybe been troubling you for a little bit, Libra. Now, on the same day, Saturn is going to go into your 6th house of work, which is where the sun is currently. And the sun is active under this full moon, of course, because it's opposing the full moon, as is always the case with the full moon. But with Saturn going in there, it's setting this tone for a 3-year cycle where you're going to be more responsible, more committed, more dedicated when it comes to your actual health. When it comes to your well-being, how you look after yourself. So you might be feeling a bit run down around this time, and it's giving you some clues as to how better to look after yourself. If you have any physical symptoms flaring up around this time, pay attention, because they could be alerting you to something you need to heal, you need to get looked at, you need to get checked. And if you ignore it, it could be a continuous theme for the next 3 years. So do take your health very seriously under this full moon, Libra, and make sure that you're looking into it, because you could actually have more chance under this full moon of meeting helpful people, especially helpful partners, because helpful or healing partners, maybe you're seeing a mentor with the Jupiter Chiron conjunction in your 7th house. You could meet a life coach or a mentor or some kind of person who's able to help you heal something in your life, Libra, that you really want to heal in order to have a better quality of life. You could really meet very knowledgeable people at this time. So if you want to work on something, or you want to meet the right doctor or healer or something like that, this is this is a really good time to put yourself out there and find the person that's going to help you heal something, especially if you have a health issue that's been going on for a long time. A leg up. So for some of you, it could actually be to do with your legs, that you're noticing something around this full moon. And we have deep knowing. So for a lot of you, you're diving into your intuition with the 12th house. As I say, your dreams are very unusual. You're feeling very in touch with your intuition. It can be a very psychic time. You can have some really interesting downloads or dreams that help you understand your psyche better. But with the leg up card, as I said before, you're more likely to attract or find the right people to help you under this full moon, Libra. That is what I have for you, and I will talk to you soon. Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the full moon in Virgo. So Scorpio, for you, this full moon is happening in a very social side of the sky for you. So it's very likely around this time you are associating with a team or a group of people or some sort of social activity. Your schedule is probably going to be kind of busy around the time of this full moon, not going to lie. There's people going to want to talk to you, people going to want to hit you up on social media. If you have a social media account, your following may increase. And for a lot of you, you could just be finding yourself having a really exciting social experience, because this full moon is being supported by Uranus in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships. So you could be having a really good time with a group of friends. You could be having a really good time with your partner, even doing social activities with your partner. Or this could be a time where some sort of dream comes true, some sort of wish is realized, possibly thanks to somebody in your life, like a partner, a relationship, someone you're dating, your spouse. Some kind of dream could be realized, or you could be attending a social event with a partner that goes really well. Something that's really exciting for you. Or you could unexpectedly go from friends to lovers, or you could be connecting with someone online maybe, or at a social event who really drums up some romantic interest and could be a potential partner if you're single. So with this full moon as well, I must note that it is forming a T-square with your traditional ruler Mars in your 8th house. So you've had Mars in your 8th house since August. Very psychologically triggering area. And it might be that you could be having a really good time, but you're you might find yourself a little bit triggered by something that is, very much within you. Like there might be some traumas coming up under this full moon that you're figuring out ways to heal and process, and it's likely that you're healing and processing them through being with other people. Other people can be a mirror to what's going on with us, especially when it's Mars and Gemini, but it can be good to explore those kind of uncomfortable feelings with other people and receive support, especially if you like to do things on your own, Scorpio. We also have a Jupiter-Chiron conjunction in your 6th house, which is really good for your physical health. It feels like you're getting a clear read on what's going on for you physically, what you need to do for your well-being, or maybe even attracting the right people to help you heal something, like the right doctor, the right physio, or something like that, Scorpio. Let's see what your oracle card is. You got serendipity, just like the card for the reading. So luck is on your side, Scorpio. We also have the go the distance card. So I feel like for a lot of you, you're reaching some kind of finish line. There's an unexpected encounter, chance, opportunity. Luck is on your side. And there's something very serendipitous about what's happening for you, Scorpio. It feels like you're having that stars align energy where you're very lucky at this time. The 11th house can be a full moon. When you have a full moon in the 11th house, it can be a time when some sort of wish manifests or a dream comes true, and it looks like that might be the case for you because luck is on your side. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. So Sagittarius, this is happening in your 10th house of your public persona, your professional life, your career, your goals. So for a lot of you, Sagittarius, with the trine to Uranus in your 6th house, the hard work you've been doing is likely paying off around this time. The habits that you've been exploring, your routines, the work you've been putting in, the service you've been doing is likely to pay off in a big way around this time, Sagittarius. You could be reaching some sort of professional milestone, professional accomplishment, and you're being rewarded for a job well done, I feel. This might not necessarily be something that if you're in a relationship, your partner is, maybe they're not being as enthusiastic as you want them to be. Maybe they're not being as forthcoming with the support as you want them to be. Maybe they just don't understand the goal or the accomplishment that you've reached, and there's a little bit of a jarring energy there because of the square to Mars. But anything that comes up under this full moon is an opportunity to heal it and work through it. So if there is any tension with a relationship, maybe with a business partnership too, just know that anything that comes up is coming up to be healed under this full moon. Saturn is going to enter Pisces in the same day. So the sun is there, the ruler of this full moon is there as well. So it feels like a lot of the stuff you're focusing on is home and family related. So you might be trying to move, you might be trying to purchase a property, you might be trying to renovate. Just know with Saturn going through this sector, it's slow and steady from here on out when it comes to home, whether that's renovations, whether that is buying a property, whether that's trying to find somewhere to rent. It's, well, less so much rent, but it's a more slow and steady approach to your home and living situation, as well as any kind of healing work you're doing with your family or expansion of your family. Saturn doesn't deny, it just delays at times. It really wants us to work for things, really wants us to understand the wisdom behind certain life experiences and certain life challenges. So if you are finding a bit of frustration comes up with home or with property matters, it is usually the case that if it is delayed, it's for your greater good, and Saturn is trying to set you up with something more stable. Okay, so just bear that in mind if you are looking for a home or property, or you're trying to work through something when it comes to family. But this full moon does seem to be a professional milestone or accomplishment or reward for you. Oops, Sagittarius. The leg up card keeps coming up because it's all about helping. It's all about helpful people, and I feel like this full moon in Virgo, people want to be helpful, so someone might be helping you out professionally. We also have deep knowing, so you're doing what is true to you professionally, I think, when it comes to your career, whatever changes you're making, whatever energy you're leaning into when it comes to your professional life. If there are changes going on, if you are maybe leaving a job, you're maybe letting one go, or you're deciding between two, I feel like you have a very keen intuition on what's going to work for you in the long run, Sagittarius. You have this deep knowing about what the future, what you want it to look like, and what you need to do to make that happen. That's what I have for you, Sagittarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the full moon in Virgo for your sign. So Capricorn, this full moon is happening in your 9th house. So the 9th house is all about wisdom. It's about higher learning. It's about higher purpose. It's about higher knowing, higher knowledge. It's where we find religion, where we find spirituality. It's also where we find mentors and teachers. A lot of you under this full moon could be reaching some sort of accomplishment when it comes to teaching or when it comes to learning. So that could be getting your degree, or that could be teaching a class. It could be putting your knowledge out for the world to see. You could be taking a course, taking a seminar, or teaching a course, or teaching a seminar. But this is really putting focus on your knowledge, Capricorn. Now, this is also highlighting your travel access. So you could be taking a trip around this full moon. You could be going somewhere that is going to be exciting, somewhere that's going to be very interesting for you to explore, particularly with Uranus in your 5th house of fun and creativity and pleasure. You could be, if you're traveling around this time, Capricorn, it's likely to be a lot of fun. It's likely to be something with unexpected developments when it comes to fun, maybe unexpected developments when it comes to romance. I also feel like for a lot of you that you're going to potentially have some sort of, if you're single, there could be a romantic conversation going on with this, because Uranus is in your 5th house of romance, and it is aspecting this full moon, and the full moon rules your relationship. So for a lot of you, there could be declarations of feeling come out, especially with the sun in your 3rd house of communication. So there could be some sort of communication going on with a potential partner or romantic interest, or it could be that you connect with someone via a course, via a workshop, via a class, and it is a romantic connection, Capricorn. So that could be something that's going on for you around this time as well. But I feel like whatever is going on, it's going to be fun, okay? It's going to be something you're enjoying. It's going to be something that gives you pleasure, gives you joy. There is a square going on to Mars, and Mars is, of course, for you in your 6th house. So you might have some irritation when it comes to your routine. Maybe there's disruptions in your routine. Maybe you're feeling a bit irritated with people you work with. Or something like that, Virgo. But Saturn is Virgo, Capricorn. I just read, I full moon in Virgo on my sheet in big letters, so I said Virgo, but I know you're a Capricorn, don't worry. There is going to be this sense over the next 3 years of a lot of discipline and responsibility when it comes to the way that you think, the way that you process your thoughts, the way that you limit yourself because of your thoughts, and also your relationship to siblings and neighbours with Saturn going into Pisces. Ooh, okay, we got your cards anyway. But with Saturn going into Pisces, you may be finding over the next few years that you're going to be taking more accountability and responsibility for what you say, how you say it, what you're teaching, what you're learning, and also what you're thinking, Capricorn. So we have go the distance and message in a bottle. I sort of see this as a conversation or a message that's a long time coming for a lot of you. There could also be that you're traveling, and when you're traveling, you receive a message. You could be getting a message about a trip, because the go the distance card is making me think for you of an actual trip. But I sort of feel like you're maybe with this energy receiving a message of some kind that's long overdue, is the way that I read this. Like you're getting a message about something. There's a phone in the bottle and it's surrounded by lots of hearts and stars. So this might be a message of romance, or this might be a message about an opportunity for you, Capricorn. But I do see for a lot of you, this full moon seems to be bringing you a very clear message. And with the go the distance card, this could be because it's something that's going to go the distance, or it could be something that has been, as I say, a long time coming. But that's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Aquarius, welcome to the full moon in Virgo for your sign. So Aquarius, this full moon is happening in your 8th house, and it is going to be forming a very supportive trine with Uranus in your 4th house. So what I'm sort of seeing from this, Aquarius, is that with Uranus being your 1st house ruler and it's in your 4th house, it's bringing some sort of pleasant surprise from the area of home, property matters, or family. There could be some kind of news coming up when it comes to a family member, when it comes to a living situation, a property, or someone in your immediate household. And it could also be something that's liberating you from the past. And what's being exposed under this full moon could be to do with finances, or it could easily be to do with things like the occult, phobias, fears. So what I'm kind of seeing for you is that under this full moon, there's a lot of emphasis on your financial life. So there's a lot of emphasis on your money. The 8th house can be to do with other people's money, and the 2nd house where the sun is and where Saturn is entering, Pisces is your 2nd house of income and your personal finances. I'm kind of seeing that maybe it's like the sale of a house is bringing you in some money, or it could be that you're selling someone else's house, it's bringing you in some money. You're maybe making money through somebody else. That could be to do with your family, or that could be in your there could be someone in your family is helping you make money or is gifting you money, or it could be the sale of a property or something to do with renovations, or even something from the past. But it feels like under this full moon, Aquarius, you might be coming into some money. You might be coming into some additional finances. And this full moon is a good time to put your money under a microscope to really check it out. If it's not manifesting as money materially, as sometimes they don't, because these houses, the 8th and the 4th, can be very much related to our psychological systems. It could be that the work that you've been doing with a therapist or a psychologist helps you release some sort of fear or some sort of phobia or heal some sort of pattern around this time, Aquarius. There might be a really cathartic release where you feel like you're processing some heavy emotions that you couldn't process before. Now you feel like you're finally healing from the past in some capacity. With Saturn moving into your second house, it's worth noting that over the next 3 years, you're going to be getting very serious when it comes to your money. So this is a good full moon to really reflect on what your relationship is with money and finances, and if that needs healing. You know, what are your beliefs surrounding money? What are your beliefs surrounding what you deserve to make? Maybe, you know, what are your deep rooted beliefs about money? Were you taught that it was evil? Do you feel like you don't deserve it? Do you feel like, you know, really dive into what your relationship with money is. It's going to be personal to each individual, but this is a good full moon to heal any, you know, relationship with money that diminishes your life quality, basically. It's a really good time to heal that, Aquarius. Let's see what we have for you in terms of a card. Higher power. I believe that Aries got this too. So speaking of Aries, there's a Jupiter-Chiron conjunction happening in Aries, and for you that's your third house. So if you've any wounding surrounding communication, how you communicate, what your voice sounds like, maybe you had to learn another language and you feel insecure about it sometimes. Maybe it is that you've had speech issues and you feel insecure about that, or maybe it is that you feel like you can't use your voice because people were always telling you to be quiet, basically. There's some healing going on when it comes to your voice, I feel. And this is being accessed by a higher power. It's like you're channeling something, you're channeling wisdom, you're channeling insights. It's helping you communicate. If you feel like you're channeling a message, even if you're not a psychic, if you feel like you're channeling a message, feel free to put it out there and see how it's received, because you're channeling your higher self at the moment, Aquarius, I think. And, you know, Saturn is leaving your sign. So you're stepping into a period where you're not going to feel like you have to be so serious about yourself. You're going to be serious about your finances and the gifts that you have. And maybe one of the gifts that you have is something that's quite psychic, or something that is quite healing, or something that has a really great connection to the divine. And you're going to want to look into that more so over the next 3 years. But maybe the full moon in Virgo being in your 8th house is highlighting it, because the 8th house is the occult. It's being an astrologer, it's being a tarot reader, it's being witchy, that kind of thing. Maybe you're leaning more into it. And if you are, maybe you're going to be making some additional income from it, or you're going to be, you know, designing your own tarot cards or something like that. And this is going to help you generate disposable income that is going to help you invest more in that particular business. That's what I have for you, Aquarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the full moon in Virgo. So Pisces, this full moon is shining a light on your relationships, your partnerships. So this could be your spouse, this could be your partner, this could be a potential love interest, or this could be even to do with an ex, but this is highlighting a key relationship in your life, Pisces. Now, the trine to Uranus is suggesting to me that if you're already in a committed relationship or you're dating somebody, there's going to be some sort of exciting news or conversation surrounding the person that you have a relationship with, even if it's a business relationship. There's likely going to be an important conversation or important news or something exciting going on with your relationship sector. If you're single, this could be that you meet somebody or you connect with somebody, and if you do, it's likely through the internet, it's likely through the phone, it's likely through maybe a sibling even, or a neighbour or a cousin, because the third house rules those different types of relationships. But there's something unexpected, you maybe didn't see it coming, there's maybe a declaration of love that you didn't see coming, Pisces, or there's going to be news surrounding a potential partnership. And if you do get into a relationship or start to date someone under this full moon, it could be something that goes quite quickly with Uranus being there. This can also be that you maybe hear unexpectedly from someone you used to have a relationship with, Pisces, because Uranus is a very unexpected energy. So it might not be someone who you would think you would hear from, but you hear from them anyway. Because Pisces season is a time where people do tend to, you know, go into the past a little bit. It's very likely with this full moon, your relationship sector is being highlighted, because maybe as you begin this whole new life chapter with Saturn in your sign on the same day, you're beginning a whole new life chapter that might include somebody else, because when Saturn goes to our first house, it impacts the 7th. So in developing and committing deeper to your relationship, to yourself and your new life cycle, this may include developing a deeper commitment to someone else. Now, for some of you that are in relationships that are not healthy, you might decide that you want to let them go. You might feel inspired to let them go, and if you do, it's likely because there's no future, or it's likely because your communication isn't good. And it's not a meeting of minds if you want to let go of a relationship around this time, Pisces. The ruler of this full moon is Mercury in your sign, so it might be that you are getting the courage to bring up a conversation in a relationship, or it might be that you are getting very clear on what it is that your personal needs, wants, and desires are. And this is going to be very important because relationships are nice, but you have to know what it is that you want as well. To go into them being healthy and to have them function well, you need to know what your personal wants, needs, and desires are as well, Pisces. So make sure you're getting in touch with that. But let's see what we have going on. It's also possible that through communication and through some sort of unexpected experience, you heal a relationship wound with this full moon as well. Ooh, between worlds. This is such a shift of Saturn moving into your sign. You're moving from one side to the other. But what I love about this card is that you're moving out of a dark grey period into colours. So I feel like there might be some unexpected news in your relationship sector that really makes you feel very excited and happy, like things are changing for the better, especially as we have milk and honey here. Pisces, I feel like you're moving into a better time. I feel like you're moving into a sweeter time. I know that Saturn in your sign can get a bad rep, but it really develops you as a person and a leg up. So it's likely that when it comes to your relationships, you're getting a lot of support from somebody, Pisces. I think you're stepping into more clarity as well. I think you're stepping into clarity, hope with the rainbow. I feel like there might be something under this full moon that feels like a wish come true to you. And you're being very supported by somebody else. Someone wants to help you in some way. So if you are attracting a relationship under this full moon, Pisces, as Virgo is your descendant, it's your relationship sector, you're probably attracting someone who likes to help. You know, your partners are meant to be people who are helpful and of service and who are healthy for you. So if you're single, that's what you're attracting. And if you're in a relationship, I feel like they might have very sweet news that helps transform your life, but it might also be that they're wanting to offer you something or help you with something. But that is what I have for you, Pisces. I hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon.